Hi everybody. So here we are with a video that I've had on my to-do list forever. I mean, really a long time since I've been making these videos. I thought it would be fun to do, obviously, page turning, which is such a big trigger. But what I had set aside was a bunch of my old guitar magazines that I was intently reading when I was more of a guitar student. And so I figured this would be as good of a place to start as any. So let's go ahead and get on into it. So here we have Guitar World, January 1990. And here on the cover you see Steve Vai. This was about the time that he was starting to play in the band Whitesnake. But yeah, you see here, he's got one of his signature guitars from Ibanez. And if you count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's right. It's a 7-string guitar. So, back then, obviously, the loudly colored pants were also sort of in fashion in the rock world. And, but yeah, mostly I was more interested in the guitar technique. So, and as you can see here, the 10-hour guitar workout is featured in this issue, along with Special Metal Report, Guitarist's Guide to Making It in LA. I definitely read that article many times, but it didn't really turn out that way for me. So let's go ahead and get started. In January 1990, I would have been about a half a year out of graduating high school, and hadn't started up with college yet. As you can see, there's a poster. There's one half of the poster, or maybe part 1 of a 3-part, so it says. Whatever. Here we have a picture of Steve Vai's triple-necked guitar shaped like a heart. I actually saw that guitar in person at the Hard Rock Cafe at Universal Studios. So mounted on the wall back then. Anyway, so yeah, my first year out of high school, I spent the year working in a music store because I wasn't quite ready to go to college yet. And actually, I had just moved to a new state anyway, so didn't really want to pay out of state tuition. So I spent the year working and practicing like crazy on guitar. And it was definitely good timing to have something of an encouragement like Steve Vai's 10-hour-a-day guitar workout, because I had discovered a pretty significant flaw in my playing. Basically, if some of you guitar players know how you can get trapped into playing what they call economy picking, which means that as you change from one string to the next, you can only do a pick stroke in the same direction as what direction you're changing strings. Now obviously the easiest way to explain that is if a hurdler could only jump over the hurdle with the same foot every time. It's much better if you can use either foot. So when you change strings, you need to be able to do whichever pick stroke is next in the sequence, regardless of which direction you're moving. So yeah, I took a year and practiced slow scales for 4 hours a day just to retrain my picking hand to fix that. So was also about the time that the Moscow Peace Festival happened, music festival. People like Ozzy Osbourne, Motley Crue. I forget who else played that show. Skid Row, I think. Seen many ads for wireless guitar systems. I've never bought one. All the years I played shows, no matter how big the stage was, I was always wired with a good old-fashioned cable. And a couple of the festivals I've played over in Europe, you feel like you're standing on an aircraft carrier. That's how big the stage is. But didn't feel the need to cover every inch of the stage, so I just went ahead and stuck with a nice cable. I've heard that wireless systems change the EQ of your sound, whether you like it or not. So here's to make it in LA. Somewhere in here, I'm sure one of the bands said the best advice they can give you is if you don't have to make it in LA, then don't. Just get a band together in your own hometown. Because the scene out in LA is not real friendly, because there's a million people who are wannabe musicians, and end up getting into pay-to-play kind of situations, which is no fun. You gotta go sell your own tickets and all that kind of thing. Yeah. But, you gotta start somewhere. Yeah. There's a bunch of addresses for the clubs that used to be out there. Casares, here's one of them. Country Club in Reseda. I've known a few bands that have played there. Here's a picture of the Rainbow Bar and Grill. Yeah, I don't see Key Club listed in here. That was the usual place. That or House of Blues in Hollywood for us. Tower Records, of course. I don't think that's there anymore now. It's kind of sad. It used to be quite the landmark. Look at these colors. Very 80s. Very bright. Jeff Beck. I like Jeff Beck, but I've never been much of a fan. Oh yeah. Gorky Park, the Russian rock band. Their unique Kramer guitar. And seem to be hitting a lot of black and white pages. There we go. Steve Vai. Oops. Talks about his time with Frank Zappa. I think he talks about his time solo as well. Big long interview though. so there's probably a pull-out. Just trying to, here's a little ad with Anthrax for guitar strings. D'Angelico, I guess I've probably used those from time to time. Uh-oh. Yeah. Let's see, what else do we have here? Alright. Class of '89. Here we have Paul Gilbert. He used to be in Racer X, and then he became, yeah, Mr. Big. That gives me a lot of ambivalent feelings. Jason Becker, very good guitar player, along with Marty Friedman. They were in Cacophony together at this time. Of course, they did other things afterwards. Here we have the poster of Steve Vai. It's on the other side, Jeff Beck, probably. Some Mesa Boogie dealers. Let's see what else we have here. Oh boy. Now we're getting into some of the columns that some of the different musicians write. Here's Stu Hamm, really good bass player. Plays with Joe Satriani a lot. Digitech. I have some gear from them. They used to be located in Utah. Yeah, right here. There's their address. Salt Lake City, Utah. I've actually gone to their factory in person to have things fixed because it was local at the time. Of course, I don't go back to Utah too often these days. Greg Howe, another shredder guitar player. Okay, now we're getting into all the ads for interesting guitar straps or various kinds of gear. Sometimes they often have like clothing and stuff back here too. Billy Sheehan, very good bass player also. Mostly enjoyed his work on the first solo David Lee Roth album. I've never actually watched these. Probably should look them up. They're probably on YouTube by now. Metal Method. Morley Wah pedal. Yeah. Somewhere in here is the guitar workout. Alright, here we go. 10-hour guitar workout. And it starts off with fairly boring routines that you play through. Fingering, alternating fingering ideas and stuff like that, just to confuse your fingers. Stretch exercises. I mean, really, it's just a lot of mechanical kinds of stuff. You know, playing with different fingerings. Messing around with chords. Probably modes and stuff like that. There's some other modes actually. There's Dorian. major scale, of course, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian. Modes are really important to know if you want to be any good at soloing. And now I'll get into some of these pages that have discolored a bit from age. I'm going to find one of those in here somewhere. Check it out. There's a company that made a whole lot of instruction videos on how to play guitar. All these different pro guitar players would actually do videos. Steve Morse here. Paul Gilbert, here's a good one. Paul Gilbert's ones are, I don't know, really informative, but, you know, of course he's into doing all kinds of cheesy stuff surrounding it, you know. Greg Howe. Let's see. Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, you could probably find any of these and more. Steve Lukather did one. He's really good, and you never know it from listening to a lot of Toto's music, because it just doesn't feature shredding guitar that much. But I was blown away when I saw his guitar video. But yeah, look him up on YouTube, you'll probably find him if you're interested. And here we get to the one ads and so forth. Yes. And what better way to finish it off but picture of Steve Stevens. I actually played Hamer guitars for a long time until I got lucky with ESP, thanks to the guys in Gore. Really helped us out. And of course we have a nice full page Marshall ad as well. So, alright, well, there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. I've got a whole bunch of these old guitar magazines, and, you know, they're pretty fun to flip through, so leave me some comments if you like what you saw, and if you enjoyed the sounds and so forth, and hopefully I'll put together another series of these. Alright, well, it's about that time, so good night, and thank you if you're still watching, and I really appreciate all the support, so thank you guys very much. Alright.